and today in this tutorial we're going to be covering a tattoo using our Dermacolor camouflage system. So we're going to begin by cleansing the area with the Clean and Care natural micellar water. Just want to remove any excess oils or any impurities that could affect the base and the connectivity of the creams to the skin. The next stage is to use the Dermacolor moisturizing cream to hydrate the area and allow for a good base before we apply our camouflage creams. Next, we're going to be using the D32. It's good practice to always make sure that you are warming the Dermacolor camouflage cream before you apply it to the skin. It is a full coverage foundation and therefore the consistency can be quite dense. So making sure that the cream is nice and warmed, you will then get a much nicer application. So the theory behind using the D32 first is that we are blocking out the darkness of the tattoo ink, and this comes back to our color theory. So when we think of the color wheel, we're looking at the opposites, which sometimes are called complementary colors, but complementary colors always correct each other. So opposite them dark hues of purple and dark blues are your oranges and your pinks. So these are the colors therefore that would work in successfully correcting color from a dark tattoo. For our next step, we're going to be setting with the Dermacolor fixing powder. I'm using a powder puff so that I get a good application with quite a firm press. I'm rolling the fixing powder over the cream to ensure that the powder is then being absorbed by the camouflage cream, going down to the bottom layer and making sure that it's fixed completely before we go over the top with our skin tones. Now, part of the system requires that you leave this excess powder on the skin for 10 to 15 minutes prior to removing the excess dust with a powder brush. So using a soft dusting brush or a powder brush, making sure that we've removed all of the excess powder sitting on top of the surface of the cream. I'm now going to be using a combination of tones from the Dermacolor camouflage cream. Before you actually start to apply it, it's always a good rule of thumb to try it on the surrounding skin next to the application, just so you can make sure that the mix or the blend of colors are working harmoniously with the skin around it. For a good color match, the colors should disappear into the surrounding skin. Then you can begin to work over the top of the D32 correction color. Again, I'm going to be using a stippling motion, slowly building up the skin tones over the top of the corrected color. Now what you can see that is beginning to build here is a deliberate speckled effect. So when we look at our natural skin, you can see very many variations of color within one area of the skin. Stippling your application means that you get to replicate this kind of freckling and the detailing of color that you can see in the natural skin, opposed to having one solid application of foundation. Now, when it comes to blending the product down, you can use something like a blending brush just to stipple on. Another good tool is your fingers. As long as you're clean and you're sanitizing your hands, just rolling the tip of your finger over the top of the Dermacolor is a great tool, because this actually adds warmth into the cream and that helps it to kind of settle down into the skin. Now, working in really fine layers can help much more to achieve a camouflage that isn't as noticeable. So the next stage is to set this layer with our Dermacolor fixing powder. You need to be careful not to disturb the layer of the Dermacolor that you've already applied, and we're going to just gently be dabbing and rolling. So we're placing it onto the surface, rolling the powder puff and lifting up. We're now going to remove the excess dust with a powder brush. Additionally, to give a little bit more of the camouflage film, we can take the natural freckles that we can see within the skin and replicate that over the top of the application. The next stage is to set with the Dermacolor fixing spray. Make sure you shake the can well before holding it 15 to 20 centimeters away from the skin and working in a circular motion as you dispense the spray. To remove effectively using the Dermacolor cleansing oil, soak a cotton pad within the solution, place over the applied area and allow for the oil to soak through the layers of the application. Thanks for watching the tutorial today, guys. If you do have any further questions, please pop them in the comment box and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. We'll see you next time.